and just the service authority information we went over before. Starting on page number 31 are the notes to the financial statements. Again, highlight those just the same as I referenced their importance when I was going over the service authority report. Again, you have good notes in here such as long-term liabilities. There is, if you go to 62 and 60, page 62, there's a couple expenditures over appropriations on note 17. And those are highlighted there. Another note that's kind of one that is not always, in every year's CAFR, on page number 67, restatement of beginning net position. That again relates to what we kind of talked about earlier with the GASB pronouncement. Those were those issuance costs that in the past accounting standards have had those deemed as an other asset, and now they had to be removed. And moving forward, when you issue bonds, they'll just be expensed in that year. The issuance costs will be expensed in the year that those bonds are issued. Exhibit number 10, I want to highlight. It's a really a good exhibit that shows the budget actual information. So it's on page 71, starting page of it, and it kind of breaks down the components in more detail of the decrease in the general fund balance that we talked about earlier, $4.2 million decrease, because you'll see that you actually planned through the budgetary process to decrease the fund balance. On page number 75, that fund balance beginning of the year, that the general fund balance would decrease $5.4 million. However, revenues came in over budget by $522,000, and expenditures were held under budget by $648,107. So that's what led to actually only reducing fund balance for the year by $4.3 million instead of the budget at $5.4. And this has good detail on the expenditure side. The revenue is at a relatively high level, but there's also a Schedule 1, which starts on page number 95, and it's 7 pages of detail on revenues that will give you more detailed breakdown of budget to actual on the revenue side of things. The other thing I just do want to touch on briefly, the GASB pronouncement, and it's disclosed in the notes to the financial statements as a pending GASB pronouncement, and also it's at the very bottom or at the end of the management letter comments as a upcoming GASB pronouncement. It goes into effect in June 30th, 2015, and it relates to pension disclosure and reporting of unfunded pension liabilities. And the county participates in VRS, so part of the funding, the situation that you will have with this GASB is the funding. The way that it's funded is kind of at the control of the actuaries that set those, and the state that sets those funding rates. And so you are going to have to put on a liability that is somewhat out of your control as far as this unfunded pension liability. But it is, something that all localities will be affected by, and some jurisdictions have it affected in multiple ways because they have an internal retirement plan as well as VRS plan. So we'll have to work with finance staff to, as soon as information comes available as far as how this will affect your financial position, because this will be an entity-wide item. It won't affect your fund balances. It will affect your net position like a long-term liability. To just communicate that, and then also maybe do some comparative analysis between other localities, because the question that many ask is, what the ramification could be related to credit ratings and things of that nature, and comparing the county's potential unfunded liability to other jurisdictions would be one thing that would be of value in that respect. But again, it is something that everyone is going to be affected by, and again, it's another one of these GASB pronouncements that move governmental accounting closer to private company accounting requirements. At this time, I'd be glad to open it up to any questions from the board.
Just a comment on this VRS thing. This is going to be interesting as we watch this unfold and how it's interpreted by the agencies and everybody else. I mean, because it's going to be a shock to the system, I think.
Agreed, and we're just, it'll be interesting to see what comes of it, and it may become a political issue at the state level that where an accounting pronouncement then leads to some changes in the way VRS is done and things of that nature. Because I mean, the state has this on a large scale as well, because they, all state employees are involved in that as well. So.
Anything else for Andrew? Yep. Great job. Appreciate you working with our county staff collectively to put this together. And thanks for hanging in there with us tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you
All
for
right,
your time.
Have a great Christmas. Thanks. Our next action item is from the Department of Community Development. Brad, are you doing that one? Heather doing that one? So we have a request by the President of the Potomac Landing Sections 1 and 2 Property Association for use of golf carts on certain public streets within the subdivision, as we have been briefed on before.
Good evening. As you stated, Potomac Landing is requesting the use of golf carts, pretty similar to what they currently have in Fairview Beach. What the staff is requesting of the board is to authorize staff to prepare the study and then decide whether or not to assess that invoice to the Property Owners Association. Jack has estimated that it should not exceed the price of $500. This is section 1 and 2. These are currently in the state maintained system. In order to approve to have golf courts in the system, you would have to have state maintained roads. However, section 3 has currently asked for a final inspection from VDOT in order to bring it into the state system. So we would like to do all 3 sections at the same time.
And they're on board with that?
They are on board with that. In order to meet the requirements of the state code, you have to take in consideration of the speed, the volume, and character of the vehicle traffic, as well as the operation on particular highways are compatible with the state codes. That is what we would be looking at when we do our assessment and report of the golf carts. The county would approve the design as well as assess the association with the cost incurred. They would have to put up signage, they would have to maintain all of the signs continually. The association will seek and receive approval from the county and VDOT. They will also install and maintain signs at 1/4 mile intervals. They will be solely responsible for all costs arising from the installation and continuing maintenance, as well as agree to record the agreement within the deed records. They will also agree to hold the county harmless. Agree to the terms of this agreement shall be binding upon the successors of future property owners and future HOA developments. They will coordinate, operate, and manage all things necessary for inspections, resulting in stickers, whatever they deem necessary. Design and bear all costs for the issuance of the golf cart licenses that are required by our ordinance.
And so Heather, the action that we're requesting is to send an invoice to the Property Association, correct? For not to exceed $500?
Right. You would authorize us to prepare the study, and then in turn, whether or not you would want us to send that invoice to the HOA.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little different than what we had worded here. So I think that's, well, we'll see what the board wants to do, but I'd say open it up for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's only fair that the people who benefit are going to pay for the study, and that's what we did with Fairview Beach as
Right.
well. And so I'd be okay with having the staff prepare and invoice the association for the study.
So a second?
Second.
Motion made and properly seconded. Any further discussion?
I just had a couple of, first of all, when you enter into the agreement, the HOA needs to make sure that they add it as an addendum to their HOA documents.
Right.
Otherwise, new people moving in are not held accountable to that agreement. And the second thing is, in regards to the study, is I guess I was just a little confused because you usually think of VDOT in terms of road studies. So are you working in conjunction with VDOT, or do I understand correctly that your department is actually conducting the study?
Jack will conduct the study, but he will be working with VDOT to make sure that we meet the state requirements.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? If not, we'll call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries. Thanks, Heather, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our next action item is 1214 in regards to the courthouse renovation contractor claim appeal. The board is in receipt of a claim appeal from Brooks & Company General Contractors Incorporated concerning the county courthouse renovation project. The board has been briefed on this matter and will convene in closed meeting to deliberate its decision. This matter will be deferred until after the closed session later this evening, so we will take no action on 1214 at this time. Next action is 1215. Eric, regarding Columbia Gas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, members of the public. The summer of 2012, the county entered into a reimbursement agreement with Columbia Gas, provider of natural gas in the Commonwealth of Virginia that serves this area. That reimbursement agreement provided for Columbia Gas to undertake preliminary line extension design and scoping studies, and to determine an initial cost for construction of a large-scale natural gas line to be brought into the county to serve customers, particularly at the county industrial park, but also along that line eventually if it were installed. That reimbursement agreement provided for Columbia Gas to undertake those efforts to a level not to exceed $200,000. So they're supposed to do the work necessary up to that cap, and so the county is only responsible for that amount or up to that amount. They have undertaken that work and have been keeping county staff informed. That agreement, however, is set to expire December 27th, 2013, so just in a couple of weeks. Additional work has yet to be done to fully inform the county so we can make a decision. They provided an estimate about the costs, but we're not at a point where the board can make a decision as to whether to proceed with that project or not. So with that reimbursement agreement expiring, but yet additional work and consideration yet to be done, we are recommending, staff is recommending that you enter into an extension of that reimbursement agreement that would allow Columbia Gas to continue that work, keeping county staff and keeping the board informed about that work and about the efforts necessary to provide that line if the board should undertake that project in the future. So with that, the agreement is before you to provide that would basically amend the underlying agreement to extend it for another year. It also allows for additional extensions to be authorized by the board if you so choose. So with that, I offer it to you for your action, and am happy to answer any questions or take any comments you might have.
Do we have questions or?
Chairman, I move that we adopt the reimbursement agreement extension as presented and authorize the county administrator to sign such agreement.
Second.
Motion made and properly seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to close the loop on that, Columbia Gas has already endorsed the agreement, so
Okay.
we'll move forward and keep you posted.
Sounds good, thank you. Yeah, it's a very important long-term project for us. Item 1216, authorization of the issuance of warrants against the FY 13-14 Capital Improvement Fund in the total amount of $297,976.76.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, probably seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries. And Robin is back before us with financial report.
The spreadsheet you have in front of you is a summary of the revenues and expenditures through November. In the general fund, total revenues of $10.7 million, expenditures of $14.1 million. On the schools, revenues total $13.4 million and expenditures $10.9 million. We are on track in comparison to prior periods. And the projections, again, will start in January on these cash flow reports. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
We should just point out, I think, Robin, for those in the audience and maybe watching on TV, that when you mentioned that we have total revenues of 10.7 million and expenditures of 14.1, that we're in the middle of the collection cycle of property taxes, and that will bring that in line. So we're not firming it in the holes. If you weren't looking at the full picture, that might imply.
Good point, thank you.
All right. Any questions for Robin? All right. Well, great work this year, and thank you for getting us to this point.
Thank you.
All right, Travis, County Administrator's report.
Yes, sir. I only have one item tonight. In your packet, I included a letter that we received from the Fredericksburg District Archaeologist. This is regarding the Salem Church Road improvement project. They're in the process of conducting environmental studies. This is for an 1,100-foot section going from Welcome Road down past Salem Church Road. It's for sight distance and other improvements to straighten the road. So this was a letter that they sent to the Virginia Department of Historic Resources. So we'll probably be getting other letters similar to this to other environmental agencies. And that's, other than the holiday schedule, that's all I have.
I mean, just from a significance perspective, it just says it's not part of the, not on the historic register.
That's right.
I
That
mean,
they
that's
didn't,
really
it's really
what
no
matters there, right?
significant finding
Yeah.
as a result of this. And that's what they're recommending, that the Department of Historic Resources sign off to their findings.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Travis? If not, we have a motion to go into closed session.
I move that the King George County Board of Supervisors go into closed session pursuant to State Code Section 2.2-3711A7 for the purpose of consulting with legal counsel for the board regarding actual or probable litigation and specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel concerning two matters: the courthouse renovation claim appeal by Brooks Construction and the King George County versus Project Faith Incorporated case. We invite the county administrator, the county attorney to attend for purposes of consultation and discussion.
Second.
Motion made and properly seconded. Any discussion regarding the closed session? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carries. We are in closed session.
Move that the King George County Board of Supervisors return to public session and certify that only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements by Virginia law, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed session were heard, discussed, or considered.
Second.
Motion made and properly seconded. Mr. Ezekiel, you certify? Aye. Mr. Brooks? Ms. Bravo?
Aye.
Mr. Lulio?
I so certify.
Chair certifies we are back in open session. As we are now back in open session, the board will return to agenda item 1214, the claim appeal from Brooks & Company General Contractors Incorporated concerning the county courthouse renovation project under construction services agreement number 112-02-012-1400-001. The board has considered Brooks' appeal. The documentation submitted in support of the appeal. The county administrator's prior decision and determination has been briefed by staff and has deliberated upon the matter. Based upon all of this input and in careful consideration of the facts before us, the board is prepared to issue its claim appeal decision and determination. Mr. Gregory, if I could ask you, would you please read the determination?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, members of the public, excuse me, I'll now share with you the board's determination on the Brooks claim appeal. December 17th, 2013, via U.S. certified mail, electronic mail, and facsimile, addressed to Mr. David Brooks, President, Brooks & Company General Contractors, and Bradley P. Mars, Esquire of the Mars Law Firm. This is regarding claim appeal to the Board of Supervisors pursuant to County Code Article 2-27G, referencing the King George Courthouse Project Construction Services Agreement number 11202012-1400-001. Dear Mr. Brooks, this matter arises from the renovation of the King George County Courthouse, which Brooks & Company General Contractors Incorporated, Brooks, was engaged to perform via construction services agreement number 11202012-1400-001, the agreement on December 4th, 2012. The factual background is as follows. During the course of the renovation work, Brooks filed requests for information and eventually filed notices of claims concerning materials and work that it contended were not included in the contract. Consistent with the contract documents, the project manager responded to all requests for information and notices of claims, informing Brooks that the materials and work at issue were included in the contract and should be provided. Brooks pursued its claim with the county administrator. On September 25, 2013, County Administrator Travis Cusenberry issued his claim decision and determination, which approved and granted Brooks' claim in part and denied Brooks' claim in part. Brooks now appeals the county administrator's decision and determination to the King George County Board of Supervisors pursuant to County Code Article 2, Section 2-27G, by letter dated October 15, 2013, which included several attachments providing background information concerning their claim and this appeal. Brooks's letter of October 15, 2013, appealing the county administrator's decision and determination and the attachments thereto set forth Brooks's claims and their bases, rationale, and arguments in favor of their claims. The Board of Supervisors has reviewed Brooks's October 15, 2013 letter constituting its appeal and the attachments thereto and has carefully considered Brooks's claims, rationale, and arguments in favor thereof. The Board of Supervisors is sufficiently informed to render this decision and determination upon Brooks's appeal. Claim analysis is as follows. Brooks' submitted list of unsettled claims includes the following: cost for access control and additional electrical work in accordance with scope of work as approved by Wiley and Wilson on April 30th, 2013, $42,452.22. Cost to provide electrical power from panel R to door opening 176A for automatic door operators in accordance with revised electrical drawing E-103 received on June 13th, 2013, $459. Total unsettled claims, $42,911.22. The county administrator's claim decision and determination was based in part upon Wiley Wilson project manager Corey Claiborne's July 11, 2013 recommendation regarding the Brooks's initial notice of claim concerning these issues. Mr. Claiborne recommended the county administrator deny the claim in whole on the following basis: provision of all components required for complete, properly functioning and operable openings is part of the contract as indicated in Part 1.1.A.1 of Specification 087100. This is indicated in the contract documents. Mr. Claiborne's July 11, 2013 recommendation was consistent with all of his prior guidance on the issue of the materials and labor and the contract specifications that are at issue in this appeal. Brooks began inquiring about the contract specifications concerning access control hardware in February 2013, shortly after work commenced. Mr. Claiborne responded to Brooks's inquiry, providing guidance concerning existing hardware that was to be reused and the specified new materials that were to be provided by Brooks. Mr. Claiborne's response was based upon the clear language in the contract specifications. Brooks submitted additional inquiries concerning the access control hardware materials and labor over the course of the next several months while work was ongoing. At each instance, Mr. Claiborne reiterated that the contract specifications were clear concerning the access control hardware materials and labor that were to be provided. All work and components required for complete, properly functioning and operable door openings, including access control, were included in the scope of work and part of the contract specifications. That being the case, those items should be provided and installed by Brooks without cause for a change order or additional remuneration. This was the consistent guidance provided by Project Manager Claiborne to Brooks and the county. The Board of Supervisors agrees with the county administrator's decision and determination concerning the access control and hardware materials and labor, and therefore denies Brooks's claim in the amount of $40,161.42. As recognized by the county administrator in his claim decision and determination, however, there was one item that was not included in the original contract specifications and required a change order. The specifications for the electrical connections to certain of the door openings were not provided for in the contract. The county administrator's claim decision and determination approved Brooks's claim in the amount of $2,749.80 for a specified change order, plus 15% for Brooks's markup, overhead, and profit, and had denied Brooks's claim in the amount of $40,161.42. Because this amount represented materials and labor that was included within and to be provided under the agreement. The board agrees with the county administrator that Brooks's claim for this particular item is justified. claim decision and determination. Based upon the appeal and materials submitted by Brooks, the county administrator's analysis, and upon review and consideration, the Board of Supervisors affirms the county administrator's claim decision and determination to deny Brooks's claim in part in the amount of $40,161.42, and to approve and grant your claim in part in the amount of $2,749.80, as provided in the county administrator's claim decision and determination. This payment will represent full and complete payment and resolution of this matter pursuant to Construction Services Agreement Number 11202012-1400-001 for the King George County Courthouse Renovation Project. County staff is directed to issue payment accordingly, consistent with this decision and determination. King George County reserves all rights, defenses, and claims, known or unknown, under the Construction Services Agreement and available at law, and specifically concerning but not limited to the proposed unsettled claims having been made in accordance with the requirements of the agreement documents. Kind regards, Dale W. Sisson Jr., Chairman, Board of Supervisors.
All right. With that, Chair will now entertain a motion to approve and adopt the decision and determination concerning the claim appeal filed by Brooks and Company General Contractors Incorporated as presented by the county attorney, and to direct staff to issue the determination on behalf of the board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and properly seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That, I think we're going to be bringing 2013 to a close. I appreciate the opportunity to serve as your chairman this year, and I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Same to you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, with that, if there's no
Christmas
additional
and Happy
business, ask for a motion to adjourn.
I so move that we adjourn this last meeting of the year.
Second.
Motion made and properly seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye.